Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Ask the Consultant. I'm your host, Braden Kelley, coming to you live from the Innovation Studio. Today's question that we'll be tackling is, what is design thinking? And I think the best way to tackle this particular question is to talk about what it is not. And what it is not is a process. So I know that this image from Stanford D School is labeled as the design thinking process, but I think it's more important if we think about it as a framework that helps to guide our activities as we pursue human-centered design. Because ultimately that's what design thinking is bringing human-centered design into other areas of the business beyond, just building things. So, so keep these activities as in your mind as a framework, something that we're going to leverage as we pursue design thinking with the right mindset. And so the mindset that we want to approach our design thinking activities with is one that takes a novice mindset approach to things, one that tries to readily identify the assumptions that we're making and the ones that we can challenge, that will help us break out of the frames that we put around things. Because at the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to find a problem worth solving. And as we go through these iterations, and design thinking is very iterative, it's all about prototyping and testing. As we go through these iterations, we may find that we need to reframe the problem, and we need to be open to that. And so that's why it's really important to think of design thinking as a mindset and not a process, because as we think about processes, there's something that can be optimized. And so people tend to rush through a process and try to do the process as quickly as possible. And the quality of the result goes out the window because the time to achieve the result becomes more important. So as we pursue this type of approach, using human-centered design to solve a problem, we need to try to have the right mindset and remember that there's more than one way to solve a problem, and we're trying to find not only the alternate solutions, but also the alternate problems to make sure that we're solving the right problem. So this is a great quote from Charles Kettering, and that's that a problem well defined is a problem half solved. And so we need to put just as much emphasis on the problem, or even more so, than we do on the solutions. And so a design thinker will do that. They'll put them in that place, themselves in that place where they're willing to look at things from different perspectives, and they're willing to assume that they don't know the answers. They're willing to open their eyes and their ears and to put the human at the center of everything that they do. And whether they leverage a tool like the empathy map here or other tools, the goal is to put the human at the center and design from there. And to keep in mind that as we share things in our groups, in our workshops, and as we facilitate those activities, that when people share things from their mouth or their hand onto the sticky note, that it's typically going to be an idea fragment. And there's going to be a huge opportunity to evolve that and to get other people's perspectives and other people contributing to that to help it grow stronger and to help it have more potential meaning and more potential value. And so keep that in mind too. And then the most important thing to remember with design thinking is that it is a messy process, and that it is all about prototyping and testing and not assuming that you know, but listening and really trying to understand what the needs are and what the jobs to be done that are occurring in the mind and in the behavior of the people that we're focused on. And so with that iteration in mind, I like to use this double diamond approach to problem finding. This is before we even move on to solutions, but you can see that I've got a problem finding canvas to find all the potential problems that we could solve in a particular search area. And then we look at problem prioritization to pick a problem that and frame that problem. And we may reframe it later, but to come to converge and come in on one single problem to dive deep into, which we can do with the next tool. And then we go wide and looking at every aspect of the problem that we can, all the assumptions that we're making, all the challenges that we're going to face with that particular problem, and then before we narrow down to identify what kind of research we want to do. What are the assumptions that we're making that we want to test? What do we not know that we need to go find out? What do we think we know, but we need to make sure that that's really valid in the minds of the humans that we're working with. And so, you know, when we move into solutioning, we'll probably have another double diamond. The first one being focused on the ideas or the potential solutions, and the second one focused on our prototypes and going, you know, trying to identify as many different ways of prototyping something and then choosing one and iterating on that to drive to higher fidelity. So right now, of the tools for design thinking that I'm going to share, I'm putting together a suite of tools. But right now, you can go ahead and grab the problem finding canvas from my shop by going to this URL just for $10. You know, it's a very low investment. I make a lot of stuff available for free, but I can't make everything available for free. So, so just for $10 helps to fund the creation of more tools for people to get benefit out of. And so go ahead and grab the problem finding canvas and support the books. And if you need somebody to come and help facilitate a design thinking activity or to help inject human-centered design into your traditional requirements gathering or other kinds of activities, then go to any of these URLs and they'll land you on the relevant page on the site that's pictured here. And then you can find the contact me link and contact me. But most importantly, contact me with your questions for future episodes of Ask the Consultant. So in the meantime, keep innovating, keep people at the center of what you do, and stay tuned for future episodes of Ask the Consultant.